Okay. So, if I consider that being a fresher, you wouldn't have been having that information regarding the ERP or the technology involved in that. So, your interview will basically be revolving around your problem solving skills and your
Okay.
communication and presentation.
Hello, everyone. This is Chandan Palwar from GrowJunction. I welcome you all to a going to be insightful consulting-based podcast that is powered by GrowJunction. I'm excited to welcome our today's speaker, Mr. Aakash. He's an MBA in finance from Indian Institute of Management, Jammu. Apart from being a Microsoft certified professional, he also holds a certificate in business intelligence and business analytics. Currently, he's working as a Microsoft Dynamics 365 finance functional consultant with Deloitte India, helping organizations to enable digital transformation. I understand the role is quite, the name of the role is quite lengthy, although we'll try to understand from Mr. Akash directly about it. He has 5 years of experience in consulting and financial services. His experience ranges from finance process design, business process re-engineering, credit, risk analysis, business change management, project management to end-to-end ERP implementation. His versatility is reflected in the numerous accolades he has received for table tennis, poetry writing, and street plays. So now I am sure that you must be excited to hear from Mr. Akash directly. So now let's unite together and have Akash on board.
Hi, Chandan. Good
Hi,
afternoon.
Akash.
Thank you for inviting me over here. And thank
It
you to the
takes
Grow
my
Junction team as well.
Thank you so much. It takes a pleasure to host such a podcast of a consultant that can be helpful to many aspiring consultants. So before we start the podcast, we would love to hear about you. Like, where do you come from, and like how exactly what could be the possible like time that you decide that now consulting is one of your prospective career.
I think consulting is like a prospective career for majority of the MBA students. Some do get opportunity during the campus, while others try to make the most of it later on. So
Okay.
I was one of them. I started my career with an NBFC post my MBA, but thereafter I got the opportunity to work with one of the big fours, PwC, for the ERP implementation team. So as my designation suggests, as you were saying that it's a lengthy and let us comprehend what exactly this is. So basically, I do end-to-end ERP implementations for an organization, being a finance consultant. My roles includes like requirement gathering from the client, understanding their business processes, and helping them in their digital journey.
Okay.
So what do I mean by digital transformation is that, say, for example, if you are an organization, you must be having multiple departments. So there is a possibility that all your business process and your uh, departments are not integrated. They are not centralized. They are completely decentralized. So the journey starts like when the organization understand their need. Say, for example, I'll just give you a layman example like what a ERP implementation does. Say if you are just wanted to place an order, so in
Okay.
normal case what would have happened is that the sales order would have been processed. The sales team would manually go to the finance team to generate the invoices. They would go to
Right.
the production team, and then thereafter the purchase team to procure the raw materials. But when all your systems are integrated and all your business functions work in like together, so in that case, what happens is that, say for example, your sales order is processed. Then at the same time, the system will automatically create a transaction for your finance department. The inventory will get updated. Your
Okay.
production floor will get the work order,
Okay.
and your purchase team will also get the information to like procure the materials which are required.
Right.
So the basic functionality or the basic roles are to understand what the client business processes currently are, and we need to map the same in our system or the ERP system, as we say,
Okay.
so that this will help them to reduce their costs, their
Wow.
mundane tasks. It will help them to automate their tasks to a great extent. So all these are features of ERP. So if I keep going on, there won't be any end to the features which ERP has.
Definitely. Yeah. Right. So I think whatever you said, I'm sure that aspiring consultants will be so much excited to hear about like what could be the, you already told the roles and responsibilities of your designation of your job role right now. So what could be the prospective skill sets that you believe that you must have, that in order to get the selection, get the recruitment at your current role?
Okay. So if I consider that being a fresher, you wouldn't have been having that information regarding the ERP or the technology involved in that. So your interview will basically be revolving around your problem solving skills and your
Okay.
communication and presentation. Because being a consultant, you the basic skills which I say that is required or that is at most essential is one is the problem solving, and second is your communication skills or your interpersonal skills, because currently these are very underrated interpersonal skills, but being a consultant it is very important.
Okay.
Now by problem solving I mean the companies are looking for your thinking process, if you have a structured approach or not. Do you Can you bring a newer perspective to the solution? And by communication, you need to interact with clients which are globally. They can be from the European countries, US, Asian countries, Gulf countries. So
Okay.
communication is very important. As well as you need to have that understanding that you should ask always right questions at the right time, even when you are thrown caselets in the interviews. It is very important that before jumping to any conclusion, be it a guesstimate case study or be it whatever the requirement is, ask correct questions at correct time. Sometimes it is very essential to understand the requirement of the client, because we always have this habit of saying the solution based upon our prior
Okay.
experience. But in consulting industry, each business operates in its own way. They are in different sector, they have different business processes. So it's very important to first have the right skill sets of getting the correct understanding of their processes. So in an interview, the interview also looks at this point, that whether you have that listening ability, comprehending the skills. It's not necessary that you will give the right solution, but your approach should be correct. There should be a top like step by step approach, be it a bottoms up approach or a top to bottom approach, but there should be a structured thinking
Okay.
completely. And the presentation skills and the Excel skills are also really important,
Okay.
because being a consultant, you are expected, and from being from a good B school, you're also expected to make presentations. And the Excel spreadsheets are like you cannot
Absolutely.
leave them alone in silos. They are always a part of your job.
Absolutely.
So,
Okay, so
yes.
thank you so much, for giving your insights into the skill sets that one must to have in order to seek a good job in being a consultant. So moving ahead, we as we know that there is one kind of thing that makes one aspiring consultant afraid of consulting. That is work-life balance. So people get to know about the consulting domain. Either they are having misconceptions or a myth kind of thing that people working as a consultant tends to work for no limits in a particular day. So it has been understood by many of the people that a consultant is supposed to work for 14 hours a day or 16 hours a day or 12 hours a day. So is it really that people are having, it is not a myth and it is actually a real scenario of the consulting domain?
So there is a no definite answer to it. I'll say it
Okay.
certainly depends. If I speak about the MBBs, as far as I have heard from my friends, they do work 14 hours a day. But
Okay.
if I say about the big four, it certainly depends upon the project. So I would say that at some days you need to stretch to 12 to 14 hours as well. But that is some day. That is
Okay.
certainly not that each day you are expected to work that much.
Okay.
And in the very beginning, I would just advise to the young aspirants as well that do not focus much on the work life balance initially,
Okay.
and do not be afraid to hustle. Because I'm not saying that give your life and soul to the organization, but work for yourself. Because initially, the quicker you pick up things, it will be better for you in the long run. Because currently, you do not have so much obligations, you do not have all those responsibilities. So you can take a good shape of your career. And in Deloitte, also, you say that you own your own career. So it certainly depends upon you that how much you want to make out of that opportunities.
Okay.
It's not necessary that someone will put a gun at you and you are forced to
Okay.
work that long. You can always say a no.
Right. Right.
But it certainly depends upon yourself that how you want to shape up your journey.
Okay. Okay. So moving ahead, I think Akash, can you please put some light on, as you know that while introducing you, I mentioned about business intelligence and business analytics. So you are having a good hand in both of these terms. So can you explain this to our audience who are new to this consulting domain and also new to technology? That whether intelligence is kind of one of the component in artificial intelligence, yes or no? And if no, then what exactly do you mean by business intelligence?
So by business intelligence and business analytics, it's a big word. I know. But the basic agenda, if I speak about layman term, is that you need to understand the data. You need to present the data to the respective stakeholders in a way they can interpret it. For these, you need some business tools or intelligence tools in order to comprehend or understand the data. So
Okay.
there are some tools like Python or R or uh, uh, or SPSS, which helps you to like do data mining and comprehend the data. Whereas there are some other tools for visualization purpose. Because
Okay.
if you are speaking of a CXO level, they are not inclined towards understanding these complex data science softwares. They are more inclined towards understanding the end result. So if you present to them in a visual dashboard that what is the current performance or what is the current outlook, that would be really helpful. For that, data visualization tools come into picture such as Tableau or ClickView. But again, these are not like a mandate. It depends certainly like in which organization or in which role you are working. If your role does not demand this, it's not necessary.
Okay.
But I would recommend that at least learning the base Excel is at most needed, because you have to work with certain data
Okay.
and you need to present it in some manner, if not in a very visual way, but
Okay.
that is required.
Your suggestion is irrespective of domains, right? Like marketing, HR, anything.
Yes,
Okay.
so currently this is a digital era. You cannot keep digitalization and data out of anything, be it marketing or finance or HR operations. Everywhere you will see that there is a role for analytics as well. So you have finance analytics, marketing analytics. So in all these jobs, you need certain skill sets. So
Absolutely.
even during our first year, we had certain subjects where analytics was there. So even when you are doing with finance, you have risk analytics where you need to understand different models. You need to have different understanding of the different systems where you can implement these models and understand the outlook and understand patterns and behaviors.
Okay.
Because in the end, what companies want is that they understand the different patterns, and in that way, they change their outlook of their business. They do the demand forecasting or the planning in a similar way.
Okay. Understood. So that's great. I think, one of the thing that is, I think, along with me and other people must be very much clear that having a good knowledge in the technology is again upper hand to get a good job at, like data visualization jobs or even, jobs like consultant. So I think one thing we are sure that now we go, after this podcast will be definitely at least sharing this podcast to our friends, colleagues, and family in order to help them also. And apart from this, we'll also be upskilling ourselves in order by achieving some skill sets in under the Microsoft Excel, as Akash said earlier, and also the other things that Python, R, and other things. So thank you, Akash, for clearing a doubt in this matter. And definitely, this is so much beneficial for most of us. Moving ahead, I understand the time constraint that we do have. So coming to the last but not the least question here. So one of the things that aspiring consultants face a lot of trouble in, that is, getting the shortlist in the companies from the resumes. So these days, as you know, that there are ATS softwares in which the resumes are being uploaded and get tracked about the followed keywords. So like people are having some misconceptions like there is a particular person, let's suppose me, I'm interested into the marketing domain as well as the consulting domain. So should I prepare two separate resumes for consulting and one for marketing to get them, get a desired score after the interviews or not?
First of all, regarding the ATS, I know there's a buzz around ATS, but personally, I don't think that it comes too much into picture.
Yeah.
I'm not speaking about the portals like Naukri or LinkedIn. They might be using the ATS, but if I speak about the companies, I don't think they are using ATS that extensively, because I'm also in the like interview panel for the ERP team, and when I see resumes, I don't think they are just like to advise that whenever you're building your resume, don't try to make it too complex. Don't use too many tables or too many graphical representations, unless
Okay.
you're applying for the role of a digital marketer, that you need to showcase your skills. But in general, I believe most of the MBA schools have a standard resume format. You should follow that as well. Your resume should be basically of one page. There should be hardly any visible white spaces.
Okay.
Now, speaking about getting a shortlist to the consulting companies, say for campus, you have two kind of students, one who have some work experience and others who are freshers. So for work experience, it's a relatively easier because they can showcase their previous experience, and then they can like connect it with their current learning, and then they can showcase how they will be a good fit for the organization. But for the freshers, they do not have much in their resumes. So, apart from focusing on your grades, because that is also sometimes required in consulting, because they scrutinize your CV based upon certain grades during campus placements. So, that is also a possibility.
Okay.
So, try to maintain your grades as well, and
Yeah.
focus on even if you're participating in any case study competitions or across different companies, don't try to overdo that.
Okay.
Choose quality over quantity,
Okay.
so that would be better. And other than that, you have various clubs and committees in any college. And the reason they are being led by the student is because that helps you to implement your learning in real time basis. So try to get into those clubs and committees and showcase that in your interview. Say, for example, if you are appearing for the role, say, for example, of an in operations any role, and you are a member of the mess committee, you can showcase that how you solicit bids from different vendors, how you have uh, streamlined the entire
Okay.
process, how you have reduced the cost and
Okay.
uh, increase the profitability for the complete like campus.
Right.
Similarly, if you're a placement committee member, you can showcase your cold calling skills. So there's a skill to each and every
Absolutely.
job which you're doing in the campus itself. Now, to your second question, whether you need to have different CVs, obviously, yes, absolutely, you need to
Okay.
have different CVs for your different roles.
Okay.
So if you are applying for any particular role, you need to have that like customized, or you need to change those keywords to match those roles and responsibilities.
Okay.
So say for example, if you are a FinOps student and you want to apply either for FinOps and consulting roles, you should basically have three different resumes to apply to different types of companies.
Okay.
So you will have those specific keywords, and you need not mention the like if you have participated in a marketing case study. So if you're applying for a finance job, that plays no role.
Okay. Right.
And say if you have work experience, say even after the graduating from the college after a couple of years, so these things will not come into picture more. So these should not be a part of your CV, because what the organization is willing to look at is your current performance, what
Okay.
you are currently doing, how that is related to consulting, and how can you be a good fit to the organization.
Okay. So, do you believe that having work experience listed in the resume is of no use?
No, that is of use. I'm saying that if you already have the adequate work experience, then adding multiple case studies and your projects
Okay.
content, that
Understood.
is not
Understood.
required at that time, because
Okay.
that will change from time to time. If
Absolutely.
you are a fresh graduate, you need to include that, because you don't have any other things to fill your resume or showcase your skills. But you
Absolutely.
already have that work experience, then you should focus on that.
Absolutely. So I think, thanks for clearing our doubt and also giving our resume tips. And I'm sure, after this podcast, there'll be lots of uh, like there'll be lots of benefits that people must be availing. So thank you so much, Akash, for getting on board with us. And GrowJunction takes pleasure in hosting you and wish you the best of luck for your future endeavors.
Thank you, Chandan and GrowJunction.